NoTilt World Championship will have 4 stages. Everything starts with a 20-win challenge that will take place between July 23rd to July 26th. Only those who win the challenge will move on to the second stage. The second stage will separate players into 2 regions, East and West. Each region will have 8 brackets of 1,024 players. All brackets will be live streamed, starting with the semifinals. This will happen from July 30th until the 14th of August. The winner of each bracket will then move on to stage 3. In this stage, the 8 winners from East will compete against each other, and the 8 winners from West will do the same in a round-robin format of their own region. The top players from each region will then move on to stage 4, the playoffs and the grand finals, which will take place on the 23rd of August, where a new Clash Royale champion will be born.
Do you remember the 2017 CCGS?
I do.
The best in the world competed there.
But now, some of them are gone.
Dali.
CMC Hill.
Yao.
Electrify.
Even Music Master is gone.
We had such great times.
We hated to see you go.
We miss you.
But not too much.
Clash Royale has evolved since then.
We already know the best teams.
But now we want to know
Who is the best player in the world?
You have what it takes to be the best.
Slaton.
Europe.
Asia.
China.
Africa.
North America.
see you all in the arena.
The NoTilt World Championship will have 4 stages. Everything starts with a 20-win challenge that will take place between July 23rd to July 26th. Only those who win the challenge will move on to the second stage. The second stage will separate players into 2 regions, East and West. Each region will have 8 brackets of 1,024 players. All brackets will be live streamed, starting with the semifinals. This will happen from July 30th until the 14th of August. The winner of each bracket will then move on to stage 3. In this stage, the 8 winners from East will compete against each other, and the 8 winners from West will do the same in a round-robin format of their own region. The top players from each region will then move on to stage 4, the playoffs and the grand finals, which will take place on the 23rd of August, where a new Clash Royale champion will be born.
Do you remember the 2017 CCGS?
I do.
The best in the world competed there.
But now, some of them are gone.
Dali.
CMC Hill.
Yao.
Electrify.
Even Music Master is gone.
We had such great times.
We hated to see you go.
We miss you.
But not too much.
Clash Royale has evolved since then.
We already know the best teams.
But now we want to know.
Who is the best player in the world?
You have what it takes to be the best.
Slaton.
Europe.
Asia.
China.
Africa.
North America.
See you all in the arena.
The NoTilt World Championship will have 4 stages. Everything starts with the 20-win challenge that will take place between July 23rd to July 26th. Only those who win the challenge will move on to the second stage. The second stage will separate players into 2 regions, East and West. Each region will have 8 brackets of 1,024 players. All brackets will be live streamed. Starting with the semifinals, this will happen from July 30th until the 14th of August. The winner of each bracket will then move on to stage 3. In this stage, the 8 winners from East will compete against each other, and the 8 winners from West will do the same in a round-robin format of their own region. The top players from each region will then move on to stage 4, the playoffs and the grand finals, which will take place on the 23rd of August, where a new Clash Royale champion will be born.
Do you remember the 2017 CCTS?
I do.
The best in the world competed there.
But now, some of them are gone.
Dali.
CMC Hill.
Yao, yao.
Electrify.
Even Music Master is gone.
We had such great times.
We hated to see you go.
We miss you.
But not too much.
Clash Royale has evolved since then.
We already know the best teams.
But now we want to know.
Who is the best player in the world?
You have what it takes to be the best.
Slaton.
Europe.
Asia.
China.
Africa.
North America.
See you all in the arena.
The NoTilt World Championship will have 4 stages. Everything starts with the 20-win challenge that will take place between July 23rd to July 26th. Only those who win the challenge will move on to the second stage. The second stage will separate players into 2 regions, East and West. Each region will have 8 brackets of 1,024 players. All brackets will be live streamed. Starting with the semifinals, this will happen from July 30th until the 14th of August. The winner of each bracket will then move on to stage 3. In this stage, the 8 winners from East will compete against each other, and the 8 winners from West will do the same in a round-robin format of their own region. The top players from each region will then move on to stage 4, the playoffs and the grand finals, which will take place on the 23rd of August, where a new Clash Royale champion will be born.
Do you remember the 2017 CCGS?
I do.
The best in the world competed there.
But now, some of them are gone.
Dali.
CMC Hill.
Yao.
Electrify.
Even Music Master is gone.
We had such great times.
We hated to see you go.
We miss you.
But not too much.
Clash Royale has evolved since then.
We already know the best teams.
But now we want to know
Who is the best player in the world?
Do you have what it takes to be the best?
Slaton.
Europe.
Asia.
China.
Africa.
North America.
see you all in the arena.
The NoTilt World Championship will have 4 stages. Everything starts with a 20-win challenge that will take place between July 23rd to July 26th. Only those who win the challenge will move on to the second stage. The second stage will separate players into 2 regions, East and West. Each region will have 8 brackets of 1,024 players. All brackets will be live streamed. Starting with the semifinals, this will happen from July 30th until the 14th of August. The winner of each bracket will then move on to stage 3. In this stage, the 8 winners from East will compete against each other, and the 8 winners from West will do the same in a round-robin format of their own region. The top players from each region will then move on to stage 4, the playoffs and the grand finals, which will take place on the 23rd of August, where a new Clash Royale champion will be born.
Do you remember the 2017 CCGS?
I do.
The best in the world competed there.
But now, some of them are gone.
Dali.
CMC Hill.
Yao.
Electrify.
Even
Well, I think we've started. I'm not entirely sure, but whether we have or haven't, let's go ahead and get started. You guys and myself, hello and welcome to the NoTilt World Championship Stage 2, the qualifying brackets. What's that mean? Hey, we got to those big-time 1,024 player brackets. They've played their way through to right here to this semi-final, and we're down to just 4. Hi guys, I'm Rich Slaton, caster for Clash Royale League, also caster for a bunch of other Clash Royale stuff here on YouTube and also on Trovo. If you're watching on YouTube, check out the other side as well. And I'm bringing you the action today in this semi-final for the top players from the East competing for a shot to move on in this huge solo championship event for Clash Royale. I think we've started. I'm getting the clean feed in here, so we'll be kicking off as soon as they send me more things, but I'm looking at the feed right now, waiting for gameplay or whatever's going to be coming up next. But here's the format. Here's the story. You play the 20-win challenge.
The NoTilt World Championship has
there you go.
4 stages. Stage 1 was the NoTilt 20-win challenge. The winners are now in Stage 2, the qualifier brackets, where we have 8 East brackets and 8 West brackets of 1,024 players that will be streamed from semifinals to finals. The winners of Stage 2 will qualify to Stage 3, the group stage. We will have 1 East group of 8 players and 1 West group of 8 players that will battle in a single round-robin format. The 4 top players of each group will qualify to Stage 4, playoffs, and grand final, where these 16 players will battle in a single elimination bracket to become the new Clash Royale champion of the world.
And there you go. That's the description of what's going on. So where are we right now? We're in Stage 2, and yeah, if I seem a little tired, well, I'm in the western half of the United States of America. It's 6 a.m. here right now. I woke up at 5 a.m. to come bring you this great Clash Royale action. Why? Because it's amazing. This is the first Eastern semifinal, and the players are absolutely fire. Take a look first at I thought we were showing the prize pool there for a second. I guess not. So I guess I'll throw myself back on here in a moment. The players today are going to be phenomenal, though. Of course, one of the most famous ones that you know from Team Liquid, defending CRL World Champions, Igor, the Russian, the Mortar Master, one of the best heads-up players in the entire game in this first bracket final. Who else is in this one? Well, the other #1 rookie, the guy everyone had their eyes on this season who was perfect for Tribe Gaming right up until the semifinals. That's JupiterKing, one of the greatest out of South Korea, a very, very talented player who I'm sure you guys are excited to see. I'm excited to see as well. I want to see Igor versus JupiterKing. It's going to blow my mind. Who else do we have? Yakitori of Ponos, the Japanese squad, one of the 2 Japanese squads in CRL East. Yakitori will be here today. Let's take a look at the prize pool. And then Arpin, the Indonesian player, who's kind of the wild card here. We'll be seeing him in action as well. Here we are in Stage 2. Of course, quite a bit of money on the line for winning in Stage 2. As you saw there in just a moment, Stage 3, the top 4 players per region will be competing, and then those big finals. First place prize, $10K, 10 grand. That's a lot of ducats. So it's going to be a big-time competition here. So many players. Literally, this is open to anybody. You could have qualified if you crushed that 20-win challenge. Of course, I believe around 3,000 people actually completed it overall. And now they're trying to go right here for that big-time money. It's going to be a crazy one, guys. We have not had a true worldwide open solo Clash Royale championship since CCGS back in 2017. So here we are now with our newest Clash Royale solo championship provided by NoTilt. Of course, prize pool coming from Supercell. Thank you very much for that as well. And this is going to be a whole lot of fun. The games will kick off here fairly soon. I'm just in my home studio, currently in Montana. So if you guys, I don't actually know what's happening in the studio there. I'm just waiting with you guys for this great action to kick off as well, but it's going to be phenomenal. And for those of you asking in chat, I live in Los Angeles, but right now I'm in Montana for 3 weeks, out in the woods, but I still have internet somehow. How am I doing that? Brilliance. That's what's up. So, how'd you guys do in the 20-win challenge? Let me know in the chat how many wins you got, and if you say 20, better be seeing you in the competition as well. We'll be getting to our action here in just a few minutes. Some cool things happening today. I will be doing a super cool giveaway at some point today. One of these great Clash Royale prize packs. That giveaway will only be over on the Trovo side, though. So if you guys want to get that giveaway, have to go watch on the other stream. Check that one out. That will be given away to someone in chat today. I think right before or maybe during our final. Somewhere around there, somewhere around the actual final match today. One of you will get this, and it'll be very easy for me to give it to you, so we'll sort that one out. Big time prize. Very, very cool one. Limited. And, of course, that baby dragon. I don't know if that baby dragon's in there. All the boxes are different, but I do know that there's some limited edition items that you cannot get anywhere else anymore. So make sure you're checking those ones out. Still waiting here on our first match of the day. It's going to be a fun one, though. I don't know how the exact bracket is broken down, everybody. I don't know if it's Igor versus Yakitori for the first match, JupiterKing versus Arpin, Arpin versus Yakitori. How's it go down? Don't actually know, but I do know it's going to be great Clash Royale. Just recently, here on my channel, if you're watching on YouTube, just had the match that you've probably all been wanting to see. Maybe you didn't even know it happened. I'm going to go ahead and link this match here in the chat for YouTube in just 1 second. How will I do the giveaway? We'll figure that out, but it will be over on the other chat. So I'll go ahead and link that in one more time if you want to check that out. Let me go ahead and find the really cool video I'm going to link for you guys, because I know that everyone here has wanted to see one match and one match only pretty much since both these players made their big international splashes as top-tier CRL talent. And, of course, that is Igor versus Lapacati. Linking that right in the chat right now. So if you want to take a look at that afterwards, feel free. A great match between two of the young Mortar masters. The Belarusian Lapacati up against the Russian Igor happened last week. Only right here on youtube.com/Rich Slaton. So there you go. There's the link in the chat. Waiting here on our match to kick off. Hopefully you guys are excited for this one. I know I am for sure. The NoTilt World Championship bringing us the first big international solo championship in Clash Royale since 2017. Let's take a look at our actual lineup at the players for today, and it's going to be absolutely insane. We already mentioned Igor, the Mortar Master, one of the top ladder players of all time, and of course a defending world champion in Clash Royale League with Team Liquid. We'll be seeing him today also in action. JupiterKing, the Tribe Gaming rookie out of South Korea. Very, very talented player. Did a great job at the NoTilt League Special Edition. One of the top win rates overall. Pretty much carried Tribe Gaming through that entire competition and then was phenomenal most of the way in CRL. And here we go. Here's the actual bracket. And we're not going to get an Igor versus JupiterKing final. We'll get Igor and JupiterKing on one side and Arpin versus Yakitori on the other side. The Ponos player up against the Indonesian on the left side of the bracket. These will both be pretty good matches. Yakitori is super, super talented. Of course, everyone from Ponos is top tier. I'm a big fan of all the Japanese players. A great Clash Royale scene in Japan, in the land of the Rising Sun. A lot of love to the brothers Sho and Kei of Rising Sun Esports, who do a lot to help the semi-pro scene grow over in Japan for Clash Royale. Of course, two big-time CRL squads between Fav Gaming and Ponos. Ponos went to the CRL World Finals in 2018, where I was there with my friend Andrew Guy and your friend Clash with Ash to cast the action of that big-time Clash Royale World Championship. And then this last year, Fav Gaming showed up at the World Championship in Los Angeles getting to see Jack play live was super, super fun. Of course, that whole team, very fun. How do you define East? Asked Anton in the chat. Well, while Igor might play in CRL West, Anton, I don't know if you know this, Russia is in the Asian continent. So Russia is actually in the eastern part of the world. So there you go. That's based on actual geography, whereas there are players. JupiterKing also plays in CRL West, if you weren't aware. JupiterKing is also in the western side with Tribe Gaming now. When will it start? Asked the Genius. I don't know the exact moment when we're going to kick off the games. I'm waiting along with you guys. I believe we're getting to it right here, though. It looks like we're going to be doing Arpin versus Yakitori here in just a moment. I am alone in my office in Montana. I'm not on a phone call with the production, so I'm waiting with you guys. But it's going to be fun. Yeah, Arpin, the Indonesian, up against Yakitori, the Japanese player. This is a truly worldwide competition, and I know I'm really excited about it. What is my favorite card? Asks Yashlin. My favorite card is the Ice Golem. It's so cool. Does so many interesting things. Such an important part of the game. And a big shout out to Mikey for the dono. $7 Canadian. I'll have to go buy some poutine. If you don't know what that is, it's fries with gravy and cheese curds. It's a thing they eat in Canada. New Zealand is in the East. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's how. I don't know how all the regions are breaking down for sure. But I know that we're getting to this game fairly soon here. I'm messaging production myself. Rich Slaton, you are just streaming and commentating on streaming the gameplay. No, the gameplay will be on here, the Genius. Don't you worry, the gameplay will be coming right here. This is where you watch the gameplay. Right here in front of you. And looks like we're getting to it fairly soon here. I'm just waiting for a word from production booth. Everything to amaze. How many matches today? 3 matches. This is going to be the semifinal, the first semifinal, the first qualifying bracket. We're going to see, looks like Yakitori versus Arpin. We're going to see JupiterKing versus Igor, and the 2 winners will go head-to-head to win this bracket. And people over on the Trovo side really excited about this as well. See some love for Arpin in that bracket. I don't know if this is BO5 or BO3. Algoman and Tobias both asking. I'm not entirely sure. What's the prize? Pezman, they are all trying to get to the absolute final, which is $50,000, the full prize pool, 10 grand for first place. This is not the full bracket, everybody. Those of you looking for the 1,024 matches, 24 players. This is the final 4 of the first bracket. The official final 4, the top 4 players out of that 1,024. That's what we're working with today. Playing for that actual seat, that chance to move on. This is hardcore stuff. This is going to be serious, so I'm very excited for that to be coming. What's my least favorite card? Ooh, Carrie, good question. My least favorite card, probably the Rage Spell. Genius says the final should have been JupiterKing versus Igor. Well, we'll still see it. So there you go. We're guaranteed to see it. Over onto the Trovo chat, by the way, if you want to get into this super cool giveaway that I'll be doing later. That super cool giveaway will be on Trovo. So check that out. Never been a big fan of Rage myself, but everyone do their thing. Thoughts on Balloon? I love it. Balloon's so fun. It's such an interesting card. Such a game-changing card. Whenever it comes out, you're like, it just elicits a response, an emotion, excitement. The Balloon. Who's my fav player? Electro-Wizz? I'll take it that way. My fav player. Well, you have Jack. You have Expo Master. You have Kensumeshi. You have Hajime. You have so many fav players. See what I did there? Here we go. Game number 1. No more delay here. Yakitori top of your screen. The Indonesian Arpin at the bottom. It looks like it is going to be BO5, folks, so pretty pumped about that one. The bands, Barb Hut and minor. I'm going to go ahead and kick this volume up a little bit for you guys. So Arpin opens Golem quickly in the back. So here we are at the NoTilt World Championship, and we're seeing not even Golem first play, but he cycles Bar Barrel to get Golem first play. What does the world come to, folks? Looking like GY Musk for Yakitori, the Ponos player. And you can see most likely Graveyard nowhere near in cycle for Yakitori for this opening response. So the gamble pays off, at least in some way, for the Indonesian player. Goes Golem first play. And he has plenty of elixir to defend against this Graveyard push. Yakitori forcing him to spend a little bit on the right-hand side. Bar Barrel, Ice Wiz, and Goblin Cage more than up to the task to get the cleanup done. So a little fast cycle version of GY Musk. Of course, Barb Hut ban, not going to be seeing Graveyard Barb Hut, which is so popular, so dominant in the meta right now. And Arpin is just almost spamming golems at this point. 2 golems down, pretty much as fast as he can. Slight advantage right now in damage to Yakitori. Golem and Night Witch down for Arpin. Second time he's gotten this push going. High poison here to contend with the Night Witch and try to help against the Baby Dragon. NATO pulls all that in. Musketeer gets lightninged off. So here's the issue. And you see there, right there, the lightning comes in, but very little elixir to defend with for Arpin. Bar Barrel, Ice Wiz. Gonna defend against most of that. Arpin will lose the lead here to Yakitori, 648 to 964, final 30 seconds. It's gonna be difficult for Yakitori to keep this right-hand tower up long enough to get that last chunk of offense. We'll see. Goes high, very high with the poison. And a good Bar Barrel, you see that, turned the Baby Dragon away from the defensive troops that were NATO'd. It looks like Yakitori might have this one. That lightning, a bit overly aggressive. Brawler and 1 Skeleton Dragon getting across the bridge now. Not getting the tankage down, though. Princess working in tandem with the Barbarian and the Night Witch to defend. But another aggressive poison. This is great from Yakitori. Needs to keep this pressure on and not give his opponent any chance to start mounting that push. And if that hits, it does not hit. So it's going to need more than just a poison here to finish off this right-hand tower. 1 skeleton taps, that's going to be it. That's a GG, well played. Great work from Yakitori to get that one back. Golem first play, no problem. The Ponos player takes game number 1 in this BO5. There you have it. What a great opening game from the Japanese player Yakitori. Didn't have Graveyard in hand for that opening. That's the nightmare, right? You see Golem first play comes down and you go, cool, well, I'll punish something small. Let's throw 7 elixir in the opposite lane. Bar Barrel, Grave Hut immediately and make it a tower, take that tower and still defend potentially. Didn't have Graveyard in hand. Graveyard looked like it was buried. Might have been his 7th or 8th card. I don't remember which one it was, but was absolutely buried in his hand. Still defended well, put together some solid defenses. And there was one moment there, I mentioned it on stream, the Bar Barrel to keep the Baby Dragon away from the NATO defensive troops. Kept that defense alive. Really, really well done by Yakitori to get it done in game number 1. Big time win here. Relaxing sound, sleep, study, or meditation. Can you say my name? Well, is your name Mohammed Case, or is it relaxing sound, sleep, study, and meditation? All over the place here. I don't know what to think anymore. What a great game. What a great game that was. Yakitori really impressed me a lot there. Golem first play. It's now made it all the way to this level. It's a thing that people do. Do I approve of it? Absolutely no. Does it work sometimes? Yes, but so does flipping a coin. You know what I'm saying? Georgie, I do remember you. Thanks for joining the stream.
is Ram Rider good? If you ask the YouTuber Night Owl if Ram Rider is good, he'll say it's way too good. So, there we go. What's my least favorite legendary card? Ask Alex in the YouTube chat. My least favorite legendary card. That's an interesting question. My least favorite legendary card. Maybe the Royal Ghost. It's a good card. I don't use it in any of my decks, and it's one of those ones that just like sneaks by randomly. You just forget about it every once in a while. That might be an interesting one. Ram Rider needs a buff, in my opinion, says Chase Williams. My favorite spell? I don't know. Whichever one wins me the game. Here we go, game number 2. Yakitori with the advantage. You can see the little red box, reddish purple box on the left-hand side. My favorite legendary card, probably the Miner. So interesting, so versatile. Super fun to use. So, Arpin goes from... he goes from Golem first play to a very aggressive Goblin Giant Sparky deck. Well, can't say it won't be exciting. So Golem first play might be one of the most maligned starts that you can make in the game. And then this Goblin Giant Sparky Rage deck might be one of the most vilified, most hated decks in the game. Along with, man, what do you guys want to bet? Do you think he plays Eagle and Battle Healer in game number 3? We'll see what happens. 1192, though. Hey, it's working. Arpin's pulling out all the stops with a big advantage here in game 2. Despite what you might think, this deck actually performs better in single elixir than it does in double or triple elixir. And yes, Nolan, you can donate. If you look down in the description of this video, there's a link for donations. You can also super chat as well. Super chat is live. So 2 different ways. Sparky down for Arpin on the right-hand side and splits lane with the Goblin Giant. Mini P.E.K.K.A. Here comes the Rage. As soon as he gets it, watch, he'll Rage us at 2, I think. There you go. What did I tell you? Arpin selling out entirely, trying to take these towers. Mini P.E.K.K.A. does not get a swing. That's huge. Able to defend against the Musketeer on the right-hand side, but now 2.5 elixir up is Yakitori, and we are getting into double elixir time. And again, the longer this goes, the better it is for the Japanese player. People think that Goblin Giant Sparky is a double elixir deck, but it's really, really big in single elixir. This deck performs well early on. And now with the graveyard down, that Sparky in the back, absolutely confused. And you see Yakitori up again on elixir, cages down. Goblin Giant goes to the left-hand side. Being forced to play defense, though. So not able to overload that left-hand side. Going to take 2 to 3 Goblin Giant shots, maybe 4, actually. Let's see if that 4th one gets in, and it does not quite get there. 909 to the left-hand lane for Yakitori. Arpin holding on to the lead right now. 1408 in the right-hand side, and now Yakitori forced to play defense on the left. And not going to get that brawl on the right, but no worries. Goes aggressive. Knight gets picked up, though, by the Goblin Giant right at the bridge. And 2 Musketeer shots would have been too much. 1, though, perfectly sustainable at this point. Left-hand side down to 1728. Final 90 seconds. And that Sparky just dies. Maybe a bit of a waste on the Rage here. Heal Spirit trying to keep Goblin Giant in the mix. But that might have been a bit of an overcommitment, and now we're going to triple elixir. Yakitori has a healthy Goblin Brawler with a Musketeer behind and goes full Graveyard Poison on the right-hand side. Mini P.E.K.K.A. trying to set the line high and charge the opposite direction. Knight to pick it up. So just like that, we are very close. A little over 100 HP separating these two at the final 50 seconds, and this is where this Graveyard deck shines. That Sparky going to get super, super confused by those little skeletons all over the tower. Poison in, that's a ton of damage. This is looking like, yes, it will be. Yakitori takes game 2. Overly aggressive, wildly aggressive twice, the Indonesian player Arpin. And both times, Yakitori weathers the storm, holds on to his hat, and gets the win in the end. GG, well played, Yakitori. Nicely done there by the Ponos player. Waiting for our game number 3 to come here in just a couple of moments. And here you go. There's the stats, courtesy of our friends over at Stats Royale. So as you can see, Arpin didn't get that rage going a lot. 3 rages down. Had to spend a lot of time on defense. In the end, though, the Bar Barrel Graveyard wasn't even what put it on. Night Graveyard a little bit here. Look at those. Three really viable, different, inexpensive tanks for the Graveyard. That's why this deck is quick, it's aggressive, it's exciting. And a big-time win there for Yakitori. And there are levels to this game, guys. There are levels to this game. You know, you can be an amazing player. You can be a 7K plus player. When you get against these top tier pros, it just starts to get a little different. It just starts to change a tiny bit. And the difference between S plus tier and S tier is huge. There's an S tier and A tier. That might as well be the Grand Canyon. Not La Picati in the Trovo chat says, it does. I'm not sure what he's referring to, but Royal Ghost at least is in 2 decks. Or what decks do you see finding Fire Spirits and Furnace? Oh, he's talking about Fire Spirits and Furnace at the moment. Who's here to watch Igor versus JupiterKing? Says Jun Young Lee. I'll tell you one person, this guy right here. I am super excited for it. What's my favorite common card? My favorite common card. That's an interesting question. Let me look at some common cards here and really think about that, because I've never thought about what my favorite common card is specifically. I'll have to take a look at those commons. Let's see. Right now, I'm running Mortar Miner Valk. Bats are kind of cool. Mortar's fun. Where is Andrew Guy? Probably at his house. Here we go. Game number 3. The band's reminder one more time. Not allowed for any of these games. Barb Hut and Miner. Ooh, Snowball. Suggestion from Chuck Wagon over on the Trovo side. You might be right there, Chuck Wagon. Might have to say Snowball. And yes, all 3 matches today are played, Moose. So the winner of this will face the winner of Igor versus JupiterKing. And Arpin just can't help himself. Very, very aggressive. Night Witch, Baby Dragon down. Baby Dragon in response. Ooh, with the skeletons on top for Yakitori. And that King Tower activation does not work. And loses the elixir advantage, but does prevent a lot of damage as well, though. So there you go, and here we go. E-Golem. Did I call it or did I call it? That game number 3 would be E-Golem Battle Healer. What did I tell you guys? Golem first play, followed by Goblin Giant Sparky Rage. Of course, E-Golem Battle Healer is the number 3 deck. And looking like it's going to be Golem Lightning here for Yakitori. So that Lightning to clear off the Electro Dragon is going to be helpful. And Yakitori with a cheeky NATO there to get some extra splash damage on. Brawler will not get a shot. And here we are in the 3rd game. And again, it's Arpin with the advantage early. Although a much smaller advantage than he has had so far. And throws down the pile of pink goo one more time. Early cage in response, and Yakitori going Golem right into it. Very interesting.
dropping the big pile of rocks in response rather than working to clear things off, but there comes that lightning, but does not get the Electro Dragon. E-Drag stays on the board. Battle Healer doing a ton of work here. And still, Yakitori comes out on top. Won't get a ton of damage here, but will get some, dare I say, chip. And gets really aggressive with that lightning. Takes the Electro Dragon off, gets some damage in, but loses the elixir advantage. Behind by 3 overall against Arpin. Needs to figure out how to aim that lightning a bit better in this next one here. Let's see if he can get the Night Witch and the Electro Dragon. Talking about Yakitori's lightning. Goes high with the cage this time. Arpin just stacking here. Battle Healer can't get it off the board. Yakitori's struggling to get that anywhere near that Battle Healer. And there she finally goes down after one swipe on the right-hand tower. Here we go, final 90 seconds. And Yakitori now putting some pressure at the bridge. And takes the lead by 6 HP. Elixir Golem down, half health E-Drag, and a Night Witch. But Battle Healer nowhere around this push, and that totally changes these pushes. Heal Spirit trying to save it, but a brilliant Barb Barrel from Yakitori, and now Golem down with 52 seconds left. Great Barb Barrel to catch the Heal Spirit and completely ruin that push. Arpin back to another 4-piece here on the right-hand side. Baby Dragon getting ahead, though. Good news for Yakitori. Second Battle Healer in, and this is where it gets dangerous here for the Japanese player. 2 Battle Healers down, keeping each other alive, and he just can't seem to get to him. And they are both basically back to full health. The right-hand tower and a 386, lightning in, trying to push all the way through. Brilliant NATO here by Yakitori. Final 15 seconds. Barb Barrel ahead to take. The pressure on by the Japanese player. Battle Healer trying to protect. A poison would finish it for Arpin, but I don't believe he can get there. Lightning puts down to 47 on the right-hand side. Will the poison tick away? No! The NATO does it. The NATO does it. Yakitori takes the game in a straight 3-game sweep for our opening match of this Eastern semifinal. Yakitori just came in and laid down the law. Arpin went cheese 3 times in a row. Opened with essentially Golem first play. Game number 2, Arpin comes out and runs Goblin Giant Sparky Rage. Game number 3, E-Golem Battle Healer. And Yakitori barely blinked. That last game was the closest, but that's pro-level gameplay from the Ponos player. GG, well played. What a fantastic one. Yakitori, man. Thoroughly impressed. It doesn't get much better than that. Any one of those decks, all 3 of those situations, going up against Golem first play and not having Graveyard anywhere near your starting hand. So many players would fall there. You talk about that second situation, Goblin Giant Sparky Rage, and that deck can steal games from you. The dual lane pressure was good. Yakitori stayed in the pocket, weathered the early storm, knew that deck was not as good in second and double elixir, triple elixir. Weathered the early storm, came back and won it late, the way you're meant to in that matchup. And then there you go, game number 3, the high stinky cheese, the Elixir Golem Battle Healer. Woof! And great play again. That Barb Barrel to take out the Heal Spirit on the unsupported, unbattle healered push was great, but then double Battle Healers somehow plays through it and gets himself all the way to the end for the big-time win. Excellent work on the Lightnings, and now Yakitori moves on to our next match, and he's awaiting the winner of what many people think should be the final of this one. Igor versus JupiterKing coming up next, and oh boy, that's going to be Fire. Talking about fire, by the way, guys. Check out this super cool To the Victor Goes the Spoils Clash Royale prize pack. I'll be giving away one of these today in stream. That will be happening over on that link. If you're in the YouTube chat, check out the link I just sent you to Trovo. I'll be giving away to the chat on Trovo one of these To the Victor Go the Spoils cool Clash Royale prize boxes. What's inside? No idea, but that's an example of some of the cool stuff, limited edition stuff that you cannot find anywhere else. Only in these cool prize packs. So, again, go ahead, check me out on the Trovo side if you want to get a shot at that prize pack. And, of course, if you guys are interested in competing yourselves, I run regular $150 open tournaments on Trovo, usually once, twice a week. In fact, the last $100 open tournament from last week, the finals was Igor versus Lopakati. So a chance for you to compete, maybe win some money, and, of course, play against some of the best in the world. So if you're just here for the first time, there's all the info. It happens. I always announce it on Trovo, Twitter, and Discord. So keep an eye out for those. Go ahead and follow me over on the Trovo side, and you can get involved in those ones. I don't typically stream on YouTube. I usually just do videos on YouTube, but for a special event like this one, pulling out all the stops and streaming on YouTube just for you guys, so that everyone get a chance to watch this great gameplay. Man, Yakitori is good. Yakitori is fire. Those 3 decks, those are especially the 2 decks, the 2 later decks, right? The Goblin Giant Sparky Rage deck and the Eagle and Battle Healer deck. You've all played against those 1,000 times, right? If you've played in any open tournaments, people will run those over and over again just to try to get quick 3 crowns, get quick wins, and stack those up in those hour-long tournaments, 2-hour, however long those tournaments are going for. And those decks can be so frustrating, so punishing, so annoying. And Yakitori played very well against all 3 of those really kind of, cheesy appearances, cheesy play styles, and got a big-time win. Well played to Arpin to get this far. Even getting to the stage is difficult, absolutely. But, you come out against some of the best in the world. You come against real, CRL is such a small pool when you think about it. Between CRL East with so few teams, CRL West with so few teams, there's maybe 100 players overall. And if you put the 2 leagues together, I have to do some math there on that one. But less than 100 players, I believe, who are in CRL overall. That's some high-level stuff. So Yakitori came out, did a great job. Very, very well played. So coming up next, just waiting on it myself as well. Chaim, shalom, how are you? Waiting on that for our next one. As you can see, Yakitori has moved on in our bracket. So coming up next, Team Liquid's Igor and JupiterKing of Tribe Gaming. Ooh, boy. This gonna be fire. Who's ready for it? Who's excited about it? I'll tell you who is. This guy right here. Hype in the chat for this one. I don't know about you guys, but this is one of those matchups that you want to see. You want to see 100 times, don't you? I could watch these 2 play all day. And sometimes I do, because these guys play a bunch in NoTilt. They play a bunch in CRL. Super fun to watch. So we're getting ready for this one. Team Liquid's Igor, of course, one of the Mortar Masters. Clutched up for Team Liquid at the CRL World Finals 2019 in Los Angeles. Made his CRL debut. No one knew what he looked like until CRL. We hadn't had a face reveal yet. Was just known as one of the best ladder players in the game. Wasn't able to come out at all during the regular season. Then shows up at CRL World Finals. And 3-0's OGN Entis in King of the Hill for his debut. First thing he ever did. And man, that game against Dandelion, now Blizzard, was phenomenal. Dandelion came out with a planned hard counter, got the matchup he wanted, and Igor still said, yeah, I am the Mortar God, as he said in the... And here we go, it's going to be a Mortar battle. Heal Spirit Band, Minor Band, and it's Mortar Hog for Igor. Looking like it might be Mortar GY for JupiterKing. And gotta love the gumption here for JupiterKing to play Mortar against the Mortar Master. And yes, it is Mortar Graveyard. And Valk plus Stab Gobs will be more than up to the task to defend against this first Graveyard push. Not a lick of damage. Igor ahead 2006 to nothing. So this Mortar Cannon Cart deck has two popular variants. One of them, the one you're seeing now, that runs Graveyard and Musketeer. There is also a minor, I think it's minor Hunter variant with the same 6 cards in terms of support and Graveyard. Good fireball value here for the Russian. Of course, Igor went on in that same World Final to beat Yakitori in a BO3 in the 1v1 set. Went 5-1 overall in his CRL debut on the biggest stage in the biggest moment. JupiterKing, a very talented player, made a huge splash at the NoTilt Worlds earlier in 2020, earlier this year, where he was, or I'm sorry, at NoTilt League Special Edition with Tribe Gaming. Made a huge splash there. Posted the top win rate amongst all players. Might have been something like 74%. It was bananas. And looked like Tribe Gaming was going to run away with the championship in CRL West this season. And then they just fell a little bit short during semifinals of Space Station, who went on to become the eventual champions. 17-15 to 15-41, final 30 seconds of regulation. And you know, Igor would have liked to build a little bigger of a lead during single. 200, less than 200 HP, not that safe at this stage. Mortar down and delivery high. Cannon Cart cycles to the left. Fireball just for a little extra damage there. Gets the mortar down defensively, and that Cannon Cart will not get in range of that Princess Tower on the left-hand side. Valk, Bats, and Stab Gobs, all viable here against this deck on defense. The arrow's not going to put as much DPS, and holding off on those right now is JupiterKing. And that's the issue here. Has 2 3 elixir spells that he needs to be saving to prevent Bats from doing a ton of damage at a -1 trade every time. Igor adds the lead there with that one Valk swing. Graveyard in, no tank right now for Jupiter. And Igor is getting really, really aggressive against those mortar placements. Fireballing that mortar pretty much every chance he has for value on the Princess Tower. Here we go. Final minute triple elixir time. Cannon Cart trying to sneak through. Not going to do it. Snowball sticks that one high. Arrows trying to make a little bit of room, but the Valk Musketeer combo holding it down on the left-hand side. Cannon Cart cycled for Jupiter, and more Fireball cycle. Igor has been ahead on the spell cycle game this entire way. Recognized the matchup, knew he could get a ton of spell damage that JupiterKing just can't match. Fireball in one more time. Arrows trying to find a way for the mortar to connect. Mortar not going to get there, though. Will mortar get one shot on tower here? That would be a big one. And yes, it does. Not going to be enough, though. Hog trying to break through. Might have to mortar defend against it. Not going to do it. And there you go. GG, well played. Igor takes game number 1. Man, I just want to sit back and watch these. Take notes. What a compelling, what an interesting matchup that was. Igor getting aggressive early with those fireballs, getting value on tower early, and you can see that final breakthrough got it down, but putting JupiterKing in a hole. And Igor just knew he had the advantage of getting tower damage earlier than his opponent. It was more than able to. Let's look at the chat here for a moment. Over on the YouTube side. Shouldn't use mortar against the mortar master, says Junhyung Lee. Yeah, you might be right. I liked the gumption from Jupiter. It's a very popular deck. You saw Air Surfer running that recently as well. Did a BO5 on my channel against Buffmac. Air Surfer ran that, I believe, in Game 1. The different variants of that have been very popular lately, both the minor variant and the graveyard variant that Jupiter ran. Igor will find a way to run Mortar no matter what you do. And this is a pretty heavy deck for Hog Cycle. Look at that, 3.3 average elixir. So not even quite a Hog Cycle deck, just a Hog Mortar deck that's pretty heavy overall. Charlie Baker on YouTube says, awesome, Rich Slaton, I'm good at Clash and find it fun. Sweet, dude. I'm okay at Clash and find it fun. So there you go. If you haven't yet, over on the YouTube side, throw me a sub. Go ahead, hit that button, ring your bell for notifications. Lots of cool stuff here, including, if you like Clash Royale competitive content, a bunch of really, really fun stuff, including, you guys like watching Igor? Check this out. Best of 5 from last week here on the channel, Igor versus Lapicati. It's a lot of fun stuff here, of course. If you join me on the streaming side, where I don't usually stream on YouTube, normally I stream on Trovo and then put video content only on YouTube. I do regular $100 and $50 open tournaments multiple times a week over on Trovo. So you can go ahead and there's the link one more time. You can watch there today, and you can also go ahead and join up there whenever you want to get your shot at the at all the fun stuff that happens over there, including these open tournaments. Not to mention today, later in the day, not yet for those of you asking, I'll be doing a draw for this cool prize pack. What's in it? I don't know, but limited edition items that no one can get. That'll be exclusively over on Trovo later in this broadcast, later in this stream. So go ahead, join up, follow over there. There is no tournament today, chicken. Those tournament names and passwords are available whenever those tournaments happen, and I give away the name and password live on stream when they do happen. But right now, talking about live on stream, JupiterKing and Igor. Yeah, training camp is the best arena by far. Every other arena is just ugly by comparison to training camp. The times of not match, can you switch the timing sometimes? You mean do a match one at a different time of day? Nah, that's when I stream. I'm only streaming this as a special event because it's the CRL East, or it's the NoTilt League, NoTilt World Championship. Get it right, Slaton. The NoTilt World Championship Eastern semifinals. So I wanted to get up early. This is an abnormal streaming time for me, for those of you guys who are like, this is perfect for me. Not my normal time. I'm usually not even awake by now. It's 6 a.m. in California. Looking like GY for JupiterKing here. And going right back to that same hog deck as Igor. Worked well once, why not run it again? You have a BO5. Hog does not break through. So Jupiter going GY in 2 consecutive games is really interesting here. I wonder what he thinks matchup-wise about playing against Igor. Makes GY the right way to go. Mortar down, and nothing to pick it up. Archer's going to be too late. The little pink hair girl's too late. That results in 2 big-time mortar shots just like that. Igor takes the lead as we head into double elixir time. And Jupiter opts to go and spend 5 on the defense. You can counter that Hog Rider, a lone Hog Rider with a Goblin Cage. You can play it pretty much just in the same lane and pick up that counter. This time the Valk does pick up the mortar. You cannot counter a Hog Rider that's supported with just a Goblin Cage, though. And one Goblin escapes, one Stab Gob going wild on the right-hand side. And now Jupiter in trouble in both lanes. And Jupiter going full GY poison. Igor selling out. Goes down to 1 elixir with the Hog on the right, on the left-hand side. And that Hog will sneak through for a shot. So here we go, sudden death overtime. Igor ahead by about 200 HP on the South Korean. Mortar high. This one picked up fairly easily, and that's a pretty healthy Valk. And nice placement by Igor to get all three. And you see there, JupiterKing with the micro played the Goblin Cage to the left, and it was too far away from the Hog, so those high skeletons, just enough mass to move that Hog over into Goblin Cage range. Nice management there by Jupiter to play that defense, and now another big graveyard poison push on the right-hand side. This time, no skeletons needed for that Hog Rider. Snowball in, trying to make some room there, and ooh, that got those skeletons perfectly. You saw the skeletons flash in Jupiter's hand there. That snowball timed precisely. You see poison on the left-hand side just to keep that Musketeer from giving too much extra help to Igor on the left-hand side, but that Hog Rider going to get one, maybe two shots here. Just gets one, 654. Damage done. And now a naked Graveyard on the right-hand side with poison. Well thought out by Jupiter on the right-hand lane. Understood the cycle there and knew that it was going to be Stab Gobs primarily, most likely as the only real defense. Has to defend against this Hog. Don't know if he can, though. Hog going to get in, get one shot. Bats behind. GG. Igor up a quick 2-0. Two matches so far have not had any real back and forth. Quick 3-0 by Yakitori. Igor now 2-0 up on JupiterKing. And you see Jupiter goes Graveyard again, this time little faster cycle Graveyard deck. Igor just runs it right back and gets win number 2. Doesn't break a sweat. That one got a little closer this time. And guys, here's some interesting notes for you about the NoTilt World Championship. You can play in as many of these 1,024 player brackets as you want to try to qualify for the next stage. The only caveat is if you make the semifinals, you cannot play in the next bracket. So JupiterKing and Igor both qualified in the first Eastern bracket. This is the first semifinal. Then when we go into the second bracket, neither of these players, none of these 4 players today are allowed to play in bracket number 2, but anyone who does not qualify today can go play in bracket number 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So while the loser here is eliminated from this particular qualifier, they can go play in future qualifiers. We will get a qualifier today out of these 4. And then the other ones can go on and keep on trying to compete. Again, check out this really cool prize pack I'll be giving away later today, only on Trovo. There's a link in the YouTube chat if you want it. Don't know what's in it, but I know you can't get it elsewhere. And I have a baby dragon, so hopefully one of you guys gets one today as well. One more look at the stats, courtesy of our friends over at Stats Royale. If you want to find out what your next chest is, by the way, Stats Royale cracked that code. If you're like, when's my next legendary chest? They'll tell you. Head to statsroyale.com for all that information. Here we go. Game number 3. Match point for Igor. Jupiter needs a reverse sweep to stay in this one. Can he get it done? And look at this. Igor going to do it one more time. Igor going the same way one more time. Hey, Holly Simpson, thanks for the winner chicken dinner over on the Trovo chat. Appreciate it. And interesting here, Igor going same deck 3 times in a row. Bananas. Absolutely bananas. JupiterKing going Hog EQ with Bomb Tower. Very interesting deck selection. The EQ, of course, will be nice against that Mortar as time goes on. We'll see what kind of games these two play around the Mortar and EQ placements. Log clears the path, and there you go. Hog Rider gets one shot, 1845 left-hand lane. JupiterKing takes the first significant lead he's had in this best of 5. So we'll see what Igor's plan is here. The Mortar obviously can pull the Hog, but EQ makes things very interesting there. And then the delivery not phenomenal against the Hog. And smart play here by JupiterKing to protect the Bomb Tower. That Hog Rider, though, will not go to it. Gets one shot to the left-hand side, Mortar down. And not even going to waste time here. Jupiter immediately Earthquakes that Mortar and should pretty much every time. And this spell cycle going to be kind of brutal here for Igor to keep up with, I think. And look at that. Jupiter just hard spell cycling here. Just cycled an Earthquake on troops and tower. Very aggressive spell cycle from the South Korean. It's not even in sudden death overtime. And back to the EQ already. Good matchup here for JupiterKing. Playing it hyper aggressive. And the snowball does not push the Hog the correct way. Force to play Log as well to prevent that extra shot. This Musketeer does not get one shot on the right-hand side. Igor up 2 Elixir with 1:45 left. And just the spell cycle from JupiterKing, the naked spell cycle from Jupiter. Not even waiting for Mortars to come down, just saying, hey, I know this is where I can get damage. I can get a lot of it. Getting close to the end here. Final minute, 20 seconds, Mortar high. And smart play by Jupiter, saw it come down, saw the EQ, and said, might as well put some pressure on. Ice Golem picks up easily, though. Fireball in on the Bomb Tower and Archers. But this is it. That's a GG. JupiterKing's got this thing all locked up. Snowball in, triple spell. EQ won't finish it here, but we'll get it mighty close. Log will top it off. Kaboom. Oh, I guess was I wrong on the math there? It was 189, the exact. GG, well played. It's 204 at tournament standard now. Oh, that's right, after the buff. There you go. Or 202. Everyone in the chat is giving their own different values as to what Earthquake is at tournament standard right now. So we finally have some back and forth. A win there for JupiterKing. Puts this thing back in contention to a certain degree. Needs 2 more to get this thing done, and it's 204, guys. Is the damage. After the slight adjustment from the old version, they took away the slow on troops, or they left the slow on movement, but took away the slow on attack speed. We give it a little bit more damage to go with it. So here we go. Game number 4 on its way. Igor still with match point. JupiterKing needs 2. And you know what? I'm not going to pick a winner here or pick a favorite, but I would love to see this go 5. This is the match you want to see go 5, folks. 2 of the best young players in the game. Who doesn't want to see this one go 5? If you don't, do you even play Clash Royale? This is the one you want to see. Igor, JupiterKing, best of 5. Trying to compete for the World Championship. The only solo World Championship open to everybody in Clash Royale right now. $50,000 prize pool and 2 of the best young players in the game. 2 of the best, technically just did their rookie seasons in CRL, depending on if you count that debut at World Finals versus the overall rookie season for Igor. 2 young players. 2 talented young players. I, for one, am excited. The Genius asking how much do they win if they win the final now. Today's winner, I think, I haven't seen the prize pool in a minute, but today's winner, I think, wins 1,000 something. But then, of course, the overall championship, the winner of the NoTilt World Championship wins $10,000. So here we go, game number 4. Advantage JupiterKing, or advantage Igor, and don't tell me he's doing it. Don't tell me he's doing it. Don't tell me he's doing it. No way. What is this? No way. No way. Igor, same deck. Is he playing ladder? Did he forget? Did he forget that this is a best of 5? Igor playing the same deck 4 times in a row. I think my brain will never recover. All right. Well, when you're this good, go ahead and do it. Guys, Igor Hog Mortar 1 trick, apparently. This is absolutely bananas. This is absolutely insane. I've seen 3 in a row. Haven't seen it work, but I've seen it. 4 in a row? 4 in a row? Absolutely insane. The chat doesn't even understand. No one understands. Yuki Bob saying, what a troll, man. Haru saying bananas. Felix Brad saying he play ladder. Nobody knows what's going on. Well, if you want to learn how to play Hog Mortar, guys, I guess here's the video for you. I might have to redo the thumbnail for this and just make it Igor plays Hog Mortar. Because what in the world? Well, it's GY for JupiterKing. We've seen this matchup once before, and Igor won it pretty handily. Let's see how it goes running it back. Someone in the chat, Yassine Al-Harda saying Jupiter should have banned Mortar. That's a hard one. That's a hard call, right? Because you ban Mortar, but you're not really able to ban archetypes there, right? You really at that point are just banning like Mortar Miner, Mortar Hog, Mortar GY. You're not banning any particular archetype. So it takes a tool out of Igor's hands, but it doesn't help you narrow down deck pool really. So Mortar's a funky ban to go for. So I understand why Jupiter didn't ban Mortar. I think when you ban against Igor, you ban for your deck pool, not for his deck pool, right? There are some players you ban to limit their deck pool. You know, you choose something, you go, okay, well, if I ban this particular support card out of the 10 decks I know he runs, this narrows it down to 5 or something like that. But there are some players where you ban for your deck pool and say, okay, well, I'm going to run, I have these decks prepared. This card makes decks that counter this more prevalent. Let's get rid of that. So JupiterKing banning Heal Spirit here. Would love to talk to him about what the thought process was. So this one, more competitive than the first time they ran it. Here we are, final minute, triple elixir. And JupiterKing seems to have a better read on the matchup, although a nice Fireball Zap combination. Hog does not connect, though. And Jupiter has a Valk plus Brawler with archers in support here. Cage not available, but Snowball Archers will stop that Hog. This time the matchup going much, much better for JupiterKing. Final 30 seconds. Igor in a lot of trouble right now. Mortars to the right-hand side, going to hog that side too, I believe. Good poison here from Jupiter. Hog comes into the left-hand side. Cage high, and this should be it. This should be a win for Jupiter here in game number 4. We're going to game 5, folks. Here we go. Let's do it. Game 5 coming. This is what I wanted to see. JupiterKing makes corrections off the first time they ran this. Takes us to game 5. All right, guys, in the chat right now, take your bets. Does Igor run it 5 in a row? Does Igor run this 5 times in a row? What do you think? Does Igor do it again? Does he get wild? 4 times in a row so far is already nutty. Let's go, chat. 5 in a row. Do you want this to just be a hog mortar video? A chance for you to learn? A lot of 5s in the chat over on YouTube. A little back and forth debate over on Trovo. By the way, there's the link. We'll be giving this thing away later on Trovo today. What a wild one. 5s in the chat. I saw a 4. I saw a 6. So pro bro, there's 1 ban for the BO5. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This is nutty. Guys, if you're on YouTube, haven't yet, throw me a sub. Great stuff like this all the time, including I'll be your home for a lot of the NoTilt League or NoTilt World Championship action, especially the Eastern stuff. And by the way, if you want to see more Igor, for those of you on YouTube, here's why you sub to my YouTube channel. Igor versus Lapicati. Happened last week. No spoilers. It's going to be great. When is West streaming? Oh, yeah, by the way, I'll be back with the Western semifinals today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. Pacific time. I believe that's 9 p.m. Central European summertime. So if you want to watch the Western semifinals, if those of you watching on YouTube, that will be going to the NoTilt YouTube page, but will be on my Trovo page. So you can watch either on the NoTilt YouTube, which will be linked, I believe, in-game, or you can come and hit that link right there and watch on Trovo. Either way, it will be streaming with me again today in a few hours. Gonna go get some breakfast, take a walk, have some water, come back, stream more Clash Royale for you guys. Blastwagon, I do love saying summertime. Here we go, game 5, everybody. JupiterKing, Igor. Man, this is what I wanted to see. So happy it worked out this way. I don't even care who wins at this stage. Probably both these guys will end up qualifying for the next round. One of them will do it today, though. And Jupiter runs hog right into NATO, so Igor does not go 5 in a row. Igor not doing it 5 in a row. King Tower activation. And no, please no. Oh no, are we serious here? Is Igor going Elixir Golem Battle Healer? Is the great Igor one of the top players, one of the best cycle, one of the best micromanagers in the game, gonna go E-Golem Battle Healer? I don't even know what to do with myself. I do not know what to do with myself here. Battle Healer Barbutt. Might be GY here. If we see a Night Witch, it'll be GY. Hog to the left-hand lane. Barb Hut back at 7. So a different Hog EQ for JupiterKing. Worked well for him once. We'll see if it works here for him again. And there's the E-Golem. My word. GY is Graveyard Gabriel Perez. This is crazy. He runs the same deck 4 times in a row and then goes Eagle and Battle Healer for the final deck. And I love the Bomb Tower call here from JupiterKing. The question is, how does he deal with all this stuff in the air? Just a Musketeer and a Snowball. Keeping that Musketeer buried behind that Bomb Tower, but still 2 Electro Dragons up high. Hog cycled down. Igor not able to get a Barb Hut down in time, so NATO's at the King one more time. JupiterKing in the lead here. Final 2 minutes. We are in sudden death overtime. Winner goes on to face Yakitori. And JupiterKing just cycling hard for these Bomb Towers. I mean, that's his defense. His defense is Bomb Tower, Musketeer, Snowball, and kind of the Log. Kind of, I say on purpose, because he wants to get some chip with that if he can. But all this aerial attack. The Baby Dragons and Electro Dragons. So using the Log right now to control these E-Golems and the Battle Healer. Can't seem to get that Winged Woman off the board. Cycles Hog to the right-hand side. And Igor forced to spend Barb Barrel Skellies on defense. Doesn't work out. EQ gets a huge amount of damage. 902 right-hand side. Here we go. Final minute. JupiterKing way ahead right now. 902. Both towers over 2,000 HP. The Bomb Tower saving grace right now for the South Korean. Hog Rider moves into the right-hand side with the EQ. Forcing the Barb Hut. Just look at how much this deck can get on the board here from Igor. Second Bomb Tower down. JupiterKing cycling very, very well. Cycling extremely well on defense. EQ does pull the Hog Rider away from that right-hand tower, but now with this triple spell, JupiterKing cycling really, really hard here. Log, Snowball, EQ, Snowball, Log, EQ. Boom, boom. That will be it. JupiterKing with the reverse sweep. With the reverse sweep over Igor. The focus, the skill, the belief. And JupiterKing gets it done. Wow. That deserves a full-on wow. JupiterKing is correct. Igor goes the same Hog deck, Hog Mortar deck 4 times in a row, and then decides to go, hey, why not play Eagle and Battle Healer? What in the world did we just watch? Absolute insanity. And the way that Jupiter spell cycled at the end, nice work. Solid spell cycle there at the end. Very, very well played. Very well played indeed. So here we go, guys. We're on to our final. It's going to be JupiterKing versus Yakitori. Going to be pretty crazy. Was that what you guys expected? I woke up at 5 a.m. for this. And you know what? Absolutely worth it. Worth every minute of lost sleep here. I'm exhausted. But I'm excited. Let's take a look at some of the action from that last one. Oh, so we're going back to our first match, Yakitori versus Arpin. And this one got close. This one certainly got close. Yakitori, though, able to hold on against them all, and there was a great moment earlier with the bar barrel that pretty much stopped the push from getting it done. And here we go, game number 1 of Jupiter versus Igor. And Jupiter's not able to hold on, and this was the matchup that they ran in game 2. Ran the same matchup twice, once in game 2 and once in game 4. Game 4, Jupiter makes the corrections and gets that big time win, and then here we go. And just the spell cycle. Great deck selection by JupiterKing. Bomb Tower, not super popular right now, but still really good, still versatile. Hashur asking, do they win anything? Yeah, there's money on the line today, and then of course, there's a full-on $50,000 prize pool for this event. Over on the Trovo chat, I'm seeing Coach Try in the chat, Sam, Hotspur, Black Ghost, thanks for the follow. And guys, those of you guys watching, we'll be here with the finals in a moment of this event today. Of course, this is the NoTilt World Championship. This is the first of the Eastern semifinals. Players trying to qualify to move on to the next round. Of course, Igor's not out of the event overall. Neither is Arpin. Both of them can go and play again in one of those 1,024-player tournaments, one of those qualifying brackets. But they are out of this one. And now it's going to be the Ponos player Yakitori against Tribe Gaming's JupiterKing. It's going to be a good one. And guys, those of you on YouTube, I'm going to do this giveaway here in just a minute, but it's only going to be on Trovo. So there's the link in chat. I'm going to throw you guys the link a couple times. If you want a chance to win this prize pack, it's going to be only over on Trovo. So go ahead and jump in there. I'll be giving it away to someone over on that side. So go ahead and join. And it's easy. If you're the winner, I'll give you a code. You'll go put the code in, and you have it shipped directly to your door. I'll do a giveaway on Trovo fairly soon here. And I believe that it ships everywhere. Electro Wizard will only be on Trovo, not on Twitter, not on YouTube, so that's going to be happening. Also, by the way, guys, if you want to compete yourselves, not doing one today because I am way too busy with other Clash Royale today, but I do regular $150 opens over on my streams on Trovo. You can go ahead and play in those, chance to play, win, compete. Top players over there as well. The last $100 open from last week, the 2 finalists were none other than Igor and Lapacati. So you want a chance to compete against top players, win some cash, have some fun. I do 1 or 2 of these a week, sometimes even 3. Come play, come join. Come be a part of the action. Of course, with the schedule right now, between NoTilt World Championship and the AMG Cup, you don't want to miss any of that either. Streaming that. I'm streaming consistently throughout this week, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun stuff here. So, guys, we have one more match to go. Waiting on this one more. Our final, Yakitori and JupiterKing. Let's take a look at the chat here for a minute. What is your clan? What is your clan? How about that? You tell me your clan, I'll tell you mine. Take a look on some other, let's see. Follow Twitch on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks, Georgie. Yeah, that's at Rich Slaton, right below me. Boom, boom, boom. Go ahead and join on in. Hashiri. How can I be part of the next tournament? You talking about the next one of these? Or are you talking about my tournaments? There's ways to do both. Who here won 20 wins? Hey, let's go this from the chat. How many wins did you get in the 20-win challenge? Go ahead, throw your wins in right now. Tell us what you got. What is my best deck? Ask Steven Hunter. That's a hard question. Right now I'm playing Mortar Miner Valk. I do like Lumberloon Cycle in its various forms. I like RG Cycle, but I play the Firecracker one, not the Fishboy Hunter one. Let's see, people on. Let's take a look at the YouTube responses. Relaxing Sound got 19 wins. Leon with 4 LMAO. Yeah, I feel you. Joe, you got 20. So are you competing, Joe? That's exciting. Principal with 16. Elemento Games got 16 wins. Vijit got 15 with the cry face. Oh, I know, man. 20 for Nicola. Ooh, fire. Vidit with 19. Oh, no, man. That's brutal. Gabriel Perez got 13. Georgie went 11 and 3. Yucky Bobs got 17 with Ice Bow. Toxic. Got a lot of responses here. I'm going to go ahead and just read a bunch of them. How Gamers got 11. Sebastian got 1. Just Epic with 16. Georgie with 11. Emerald Prince with 15. Tobias says 20. It was too easy. Well, then you better be winning this tournament, bruh. Ken got 7. Nikola Popovic got 20 with Golem. 7 for Danzil. Blue Arcanine got 15. 20 for Philip. Sachin with 19. These 19s hurt, man. 19s are brutal. Alton got 20. HU Clash YouTuber got 16. 20 for Steven Hunter. I don't believe he got 21, Sabadin Hadza. I don't believe he did. The Genius got 17. Let's go over look at the Trovo chat, see what you guys got. Surmer with the 10 gang. I feel you. Not Lapacati with 15. Ahad with 12. Newton with 12. Stonyhead with 16. Try with a 19-win noob alert. Oh, no, buddy. Coach Try helps admin a lot of the tournaments over on my side. So does Swimmer as well. Dark Rose with 8. Dark Roses with 8. Damica with 19. Raged Beast with a 4. And Big Bass with a 12. Someone saying 33 in the chat. If you got 33 wins in the 20-win challenge, that's, I mean, you might be a god. You were able to change the rules, make it work for you. Yorgam at 15 and 3 5 times. Oh boy. Bye. Thanks for the follow over on Trovo. Really appreciate it. Nick, thanks for the follow as well. Guys, every time you follow me on Trovo, something amazing happens. And guys, your 2 follows, including with Lee Torres, your 2 follows, your 3 follows, just made something fantastic happen. A butterfly got to go back to being a caterpillar and then rebirth as a butterfly again. That's pretty rad, right? Something magical happened because of your follows. Here we go. Final coming up. Yakitori and JupiterKing. Oh boy. I don't know when the match is going to start, guys, so I will do the giveaway at the end of the BO5 here. I don't want to miss any gameplay action. So I will do the BO5. I'll do the giveaway of this cool bad boy at the end of this match. So I don't want to miss any of the gameplay. But we will give it away in the Trovo chat, end of this match. And you guys will get something real cool. Who knows what's in that box? Will there be a baby dragon? Maybe. Will there be a log? Who knows? Will there be a living, breathing skeleton? Just one. Skeletons don't breathe, do they? Well, this one might. Could there be in there? Could be. Is it likely? Not likely. But it could be the case. Are there West qualifiers? Yes, GVP. In fact, today at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central European Summertime, I'll be back with the first of the Western qualifiers. And guys, those of you who want to go for that giveaway later today on the YouTube chat, there's the Trovo link. Were the balance changes officially announced today? I woke up and got ready just right to this. Interesting, JupiterKing going with some pretty quick cycle here. Can get all the way around in 6 at the moment. Looking like it might be RG. Mega Knight Prince to open up for Yakitori. Very aggressive Mega Knight Prince. So JupiterKing going with a pair that pretty much just exists together at this stage. Oh no, Prince might connect here. Log, nice, pulls it back. Yakitori putting the pressure on, heavy to open up. JupiterKing able to withstand the storm. Takes only about 500, a little under 500 HP damage. Fascinating. So Fisherman used to, in the old Fisherman meta from last year, you saw Fisherman P.E.K.K.A. was very popular. Fisherman Mini P.E.K.K.A. was also popular when Mini P.E.K.K.A. had that slightly longer range. And then Fisherman Hunter. Those were the 3 combinations, and you understand why, right? Fisherman goes, whoosh, get over here, pulls things back, Hunter goes, boom, right? which is why I like to call the Fisherman Hunter combination Fish Go Boom. I like to call it that combination, right? But P.E.K.K.A. and Mini P.E.K.K.A. have both fallen out of favor in this combination, both because their range got reduced by comparison to that old meta, but also because when you run Fisherman, you are taking up a spot for a ground-only troop. So it really seems like right now Fisherman Hunter is the combination for Fisherman. Mega Knight Ram Rider, big time push on the right-hand side. Ice Spirit to slow it down here. Will JupiterKing log? Does log back, and not able to get a King Tower activation out of this. Let's see if he can keep that Ram Rider alive for the King Tower activation, and she does not tap. JupiterKing goes for gold, doesn't get it. Hunter Skelly's up high on the RG on the left-hand side. Interesting variant here. This deck typically runs Heal Spirit rather than Ice Spirit. So interesting choice here from JupiterKing to go old school, essentially, with the Ice Spirit choice over the Heal Spirit choice. Heal Spirit in RG cycle gives you a little extra value at the bridge. Ice Spirit, more defensive utility, so very curious here. And a nice poison from Yakitori. Does that Prince connect? It does not, but you see the idea Yakitori was going for. That Fisherman had been protected with skeletons multiple times. Yakitori said, not this time, sir. And a nice protection on the Hunter from the log, but Mega Knight still pretty healthy. Another Hunter comes down to defend. Ram Rider on the right-hand side. Skelly's Ice Spirit and Bats all trying to slow her down enough, and they do. 1466 on the right-hand side to 1368 with a minute 35 left. 36, 35, there you go. You see JupiterKing trying to get a little bit of extra chip here, up high. And again, a King Tower activation not going off for the South Korean. Bans are Graveyard and Heal Spirit. Oh, that's why he's playing Ice Spirit over Heal Spirit, because it's a good Heal Spirit ban. How many of you have been yelling Heal Spirit ban in the chat this whole time? How many of you have been like, Rich, it's a Heal Spirit ban? I get it. Hunter down in response to the Ram Rider on the right-hand side. The log work from JupiterKing has been phenomenal. Really, really good log work overall. Alternating its use on offense and defense, not always forcing it to be part of offense for Chip. He has saved a lot of big-time damage with well-timed, well-placed logs. Poisoning on the right-hand side. JupiterKing does have the advantage and does have 2 direct damage spells for tower. Good surround on the Prince there with the skeletons from Yakitori to preserve that a little bit longer. Ram Rider trying to make enough room in. Log will get some more chip damage. This should be a win here for JupiterKing in Game 1, and it will be. Yes, but TS Jupiter did beat Igor, asking there in the YouTube chat. Game number 1 over Yakitori for JupiterKing. Oh yeah, guys, I know the balance changes. I just didn't know if they were released yet. For those of you, tell me if the balance changes. What a game. Man, JupiterKing's management defensively there was brilliant. And you saw some really interesting little interactions between these two. Skeletons on both sides playing a huge role. Skeletons for JupiterKing protecting the Fisherman. Skeletons for Yakitori protecting against the Fisherman. And the skeleton game might have been the most important part of this matchup here between these two. The skeleton play really might have been the critical factor between these two players. You totally get it, too. Fisherman, it's a meta-shifting card. It's an absolute meta-shifting card. Now, one interesting thing to note here, guys, and I think this is kind of important to note, is that we're seeing this gameplay with bans in 1v1. You might not see that in CRL. And there's conflicting thoughts about it. But here we are still seeing decks that you see that you play in the meta with bans involved. My favorite ban system is the ban on first loss system. Of all the systems, we're doing that. I think we're going to be doing that in AMG Cup. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, we are doing that in the AMG Cup. I like the ban on first loss system as my favorite of all the different ban systems. Game number 1 is played with no bans. And then once a player loses, they can ban 1 card. We had a great game the other day in the AMG Cup. Actually, no, a great game in one of my tournaments where a player, after his first loss, banned the Knight, and his opponent was like, hey, a Knight ban probably means that he doesn't want to play against Ice Bow and is going to play something that Ice Bow hard counters. And so his opponent read that ban, played a Valk version of Ice Bow, and completely hard countered him by reading what he wanted to not play against from the ban that he put in as his ban on first loss. It was a brilliant 2,000 IQ read of the ban. But I like the ban on first loss system because you get one game with no bans, anything goes. Second game only has 1 ban. And then by the time you get into game 3 and beyond, you might have multiple bans. I like that one the most. If you're talking between ban pre-game like these ones have versus no bans at all, I like that ban on first loss as a middle ground. I think it's interesting. It's compelling. Here we go. Miner into the right-hand side, picked up by Skellies. And there you go. The Fisherman-Hunter combination for JupiterKing. And one interesting note here that you're going to see is a lot of people only play these combinations, like the Fisherman with the single target DPS, whether it be in the past more of the P.E.K.K.A. Mini P.E.K.K.A. or these days more of the Fisherman Hunter combo. A lot of players try to put that Fisherman Hunter together and get the Fish Go Boom combination. Pull that thing in, Hunter blast it off. But you see a lot of these pro players, a lot of these more talented players separating the Fisherman and the Hunter more often than not. Using them together on occasion, but typically using them more separate. Getting the DPS there, getting the crowd control there. So keep an eye on how these guys do it. Cheap little Ice Golem balloon push in, and no, the Miner does not get there in time. Still a good chunk of damage, and with that, JupiterKing takes the lead back from Yakitori. Yakitori turning up the heat on the right-hand side. And there you go. This time you see that little combo, but gives quite a bit of fireball value as well. RG gets a bunch of shots. 1156 on the right-hand side. And this is going to be difficult for JupiterKing. The defense here against these RGs is not easy. And trying to mixing that, trying to get past this Hunter. Oh, what a beautiful snowball here. Balloon does not connect. Nice snowball for some bats and the Hunter, but man, defending against these RGs is going to be really, really difficult. You see Hunter does come down. Delivery protecting the Fisherman, protecting the Hunter. That's a nice delivery there. But Jupiter's going to give up 1 or more shots every single time to that Royal Giant. And the same cannot be said for Yakitori. Yakitori's defense against the balloons with the Hunter and the Skeleton Dragons and the Fireball gonna do a lot more. So JupiterKing needs to find an opening. Don't know how he does it here, though. Miner goes to the Hunter, does turn the Hunter away, and this Fisherman could do it. Fisherman pulls the Hunter back. Snowball making some room. Balloon trying to get on the right side. The Balloon does connect. That's a huge connection. Can JupiterKing defend against this RG, though? That's the big question, and I don't believe he can. Miner trying to save it. Not going to be enough. Yakitori wins game number 2. We're all tied up. And everyone in the chat asking for different nerfs. I'm not on the balance team, so I can't help you. So JupiterKing with a good performance with that balloon, but you see the advantage numbers down there at the bottom. That's just the general data. That's overall. Keep in mind that that's not taking into account necessarily the level of these players, and matchups change, right? What a matchup played between two 5,000 trophy players is different than a matchup played between two 8,000 trophy players, right? Skill does change that matchup slider a bit, but overall, the data does have that matchup for Yakitori, and I agree in this one. JupiterKing trying to outcycle, couldn't get it done. Will I stream NoTilt World Championship West? David Lee, to answer your question, I will be streaming today's Western semifinals, but on YouTube, those streams will be over on the NoTilt channel. If you want to watch it on my channel, they'll be on Trovo. But the NoTilt World Championship Western semis, you can find them. They will be, I believe, in-game, the same place you might have found these. That will be on the... And let me go ahead and find the NoTilt channel for you. Drew, I believe that the balance changes have been released. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the NoTilt Clash Royale channel for those of you who prefer to watch on YouTube. Let me go ahead and throw that here in the chat. Boom, there's the NoTilt YouTube channel for you, those of you on YouTube. You can also, if you want to watch on my channel, it'll be the same stream, going to both the NoTilt channel and to my Trovo channel. But you can watch at either one of those two places to watch the Western semifinals later today at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central European Summertime. So maybe bait here for Yakitori in some form. First time we'll be seeing this today. And RG for JupiterKing here. Maybe just went copy deck. Skeleton barrel in. And one of the biggest impacts in this game, I think, was the addition of drop damage to the skeleton barrel. Completely changed the card. And this double bait deck, the thing that makes it so difficult isn't even the two different bait pieces. It's not even the fact that you're against Goblin Barrel, Skeleton Barrel. It's the death damage of that Skeleton Barrel and how much that adds up over the course of a 5-minute game. JupiterKing going RG behind King Tower in single elixir. Very interesting choice. Hunter and Log more than up to the task on the right-hand side. And this RG not going to connect, I don't believe, and it does not. Hunter gets one shot on the right-hand side. Here we go, double elixir time approaching. JupiterKing so far holding up against Yakitori's double bait. Let's see, though, as elixir starts to flow more, if Yakitori can spread his opponent thin. Some interesting pieces here. So you're going to see JupiterKing, depending on what's in cycle, those bats high against the Skeleton Barrel might be fairly common. And Log does get those goblins off, but quite a bit of damage on the right-hand side. 18-17 remaining. And now back to a second RG. This is a huge push right now for JupiterKing. Fisherman pulls the recruit away. Skeletons to protect the Knight. No, not able to. Knight gets pulled away, so a few big-time shots left-hand lane. JupiterKing in the lead, 11 seconds left, and that time picked up perfectly by the Log is the Goblin Barrel. And Jupiter sets up RG in the back one more time. So we've seen the rhythm here. Sets up RG in the back, plays some defense, gets back to a second RG. Gonna go Hunter here again, trying to pop that Skeleton Barrel early, although this Goblin Barrel might get some good damage. Log does get in. And another nice fireball from JupiterKing on the left-hand side. Gonna be one more RG shot, gets in 608. Final 90 seconds approaching here in sudden death overtime. Skeleton Barrel to the right-hand side. for Yakitori. Log should be in plenty of cycle. There you go. Perfectly played. JupiterKing seems like he has this one locked down. Bomb Tower just not doing enough against these RG pushes. And you saw Skeleton so important against the Fisherman last match, or last game. Royal Giant in this time, Bomb Tower high to stop it, but Fireball clears away. And look at that Fireball going for the Bomb Tower, knowing he could get this RG on tower left-hand side. 16 HP, that's a GG. Well played, JupiterKing now. 2-1 with match point. Big time win there for JupiterKing. Now a chance to secure his way on to the next round. And Yakitori just never able to get JupiterKing out of cycle. Jupiter pretty much just had a clean defense set up at all times. Big Bass and Anto, thanks for joining over on Trovo. First, remember, guys, this giveaway will be happening on Trovo as soon as this match is over. So go ahead and join us there. Why not place Bomb Tower in front of RG for death damage, asks Ken. I don't actually know. So JupiterKing now with match point. Perfect cycle. Never really had a defensive moment where he was nervous, it looked like, for Jupiter. Never had to use Fireball on defense and emergencies. Fireball was purely offensive the entire time. Between the Log, Bats, and Hunter, with the occasional Ice Spirit, able to take care of business. Why does no one use Golem, said Robot. We saw a bunch of Golem earlier, Robot. Are you late? Haru saying, you are best commentator, Rich. Oh, thank you. Hey, Chewy, thanks for the $1. Oh, that's sweet. That's very nice of you. Do appreciate the support whenever it comes in. Thank you very much. Shout out Chewy Rodriguez for giving some love to the stream. By the way, guys, if you're new here, go ahead and sub me on the YouTubes. A lot of fun content here. If you are a fan of Igor, let me show you another fun Igor video I did here on the channel. I do a series called Inside the Play. Haven't done one in a little while, but I'll do one soon. I do a series called Inside the Play where I break down some of the biggest moments in Clash Royale history, get into the X's and O's if you like really analyzing matches. Here goes Igor's Inside the Play from World Finals. Igor's King of the Hill debut. Chewy with $5. Thank you very much, Chewy. Huge with the dono. Appreciate you coming on in with the super chat. Here we go. Game number 4. JupiterKing with the advantage. Match point for the South Korean player from Tribe Gaming. One of the bright young stars of Clash Royale 2020. Looking like a breakout year for this young man. So JupiterKing looking like he might be going minor loon here. It might just be minor control for Yakitori. Yakitori has been all over CRL Asia, CRL East. Started his career with Fav Gaming back in the 2018 spring season. And then moved to Game With for 2019. Did a pretty good job over there with Game With, won their group, got second place overall in the spring season for Asia 2019. But now back with the Japanese squad with Ponos. I guess Game With had a bunch of Japanese players too. Yakitori's personal best on ladder, 81.99. 8,199 trophies. So pretty solid for the Ponos player. So this is a pretty good matchup here for Yakitori as far as ways to handle the balloon, right? Bats, Snowball, Hunter, Bomb Tower. I don't talk about matchup a lot, but this is one of those ones where you go, hey, Yakitori might have got a good read on here. The only issue here is Jupiter's ability to outcycle. But you talk about outcycling, and there are 4 different cards that can all not just counter, but buy time. Minor Loon in. Oh, not to mention the spears. I forgot about the spears for a second as well. Yakitori just shutting it down, although that Fisherman Snowball comes in. That's what I'm talking about. Fisherman makes a great move. Pulls the Hunter away. Makes a huge opening for the balloon. Snowball comes in. This game, though, still fairly close. 1150 to 884. Death damage going to get in here, I believe. There you go, 878. So just like that, JupiterKing has the lead one more time. Things starting to get dicey. A nice snowball there, but the Miner does not get on tower. JupiterKing defended that perfectly on the left-hand side. Ice Golem for the Miner. Fisherman pulls. And you look at that. See, you have the Snowball to counter either Bats or Spear Goblins. But it's either or. So good split up by Yakitori here. But now he's in danger. 598. Final 70 seconds. And Yakitori in danger of losing this match. Snowball makes enough room for that balloon. Will the Hunter be able to stop it? Hunter and Spears do stop it. But Yakitori now needs to put damage on tower. 102. Remember, no huge direct spell damage. Got to catch this Miner. Can he do it? Spears come in. Snowball counters. JupiterKing puts on a great one. What a performance by JupiterKing. What a performance by JupiterKing. JupiterKing takes the win here in 4. The reverse sweep against Igor. Back to the wall. Needed to win 3. Comes back and gets him. And now look at that. Kaboom. Takes the big time win. JupiterKing qualifies for the next stage. Wins some money. And that's a big one overall. That's a big one overall, guys. GG, well played, Jupiter. This kid is cracked. Said it before, and I'll say it again. The dude can play. The dude can absolutely play. Tribe Gaming made a big shift in the offseason. Picked up Sean Kim as their coach. Wanted to get more looks into the eastern part of the world for Clash Royale talent. Went and found this kid along with TNT. Looking back at game number 1 here, JupiterKing just had it locked down against the Ram Rider. Really kept the damage off tower. Game number 2, right, this one's game number 2, and yeah, that Royal Giant, JupiterKing, made a close one. Yakitori able to break through, though. There was no answer for the Royal Giant in game 2. On to game 3. Cycle never in doubt. Didn't even break a sweat here, the South Korean. Yakitori never able to get in rhythm, and then here. So many tools for this defense. But in the long run, Yakitori just not able to keep the Miners off tower. Snowball comes in, clears the way. Mostly death damage from JupiterKing. And big-time death damage. So there you go. Guys, that's it for the actual gameplay here. I don't know if they have more things that are going to show up on screen. I'll stick here with the stream for a moment. I'm going to close the YouTube stream in a few minutes here, and then I'll do the giveaway exclusively on Trovo after that. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and jump over to that side. We'll be giving away, let me go ahead and show you guys one of these bad boys. Be giving away one of these boxes So if you want to go ahead and check it out, jump over to Trovo, and I'll be doing a giveaway there for one of these. We're doing one more of those giveaways sometime over the course of these next few days. But this is the first one. So you can go ahead and check that out. I'll keep spamming the link there in the chat for those of you to get it. What do you guys think of what we saw today from JupiterKing, right? Let me hear what you guys have in the chat to say about Jupiter today. Let's see. Someone talks about nerfing Balloon. I think Balloon's pretty balanced right now. Someone says Chewy Rodriguez says nerf JupiterKing. That's probably accurate. JupiterKing is pretty great. Merlin Alvarado says this kid is the best talented player of all time. Maybe. I don't know. There's some top tier talent out there right now, guys. Yeah, you guys want to nerf everything, says Carlos. Yeah, everyone has a thing they want to nerf. That's actually a very good point. This kid is cracked, says Robot. Absolutely. Where's Jupiter Queen? I don't know, but her man can play, let me tell you. I bet you she's pretty good too. Jupiter God, says Carlos. Soda Lemon says JupiterKing seems good. That's a good way to play it. JupiterKing is the best Korean player, says BB Gunner. That might be the case. Maybe even much more than that. We'll see. Is Morton qualified for semis in West? I don't believe so. Who's next after JupiterKing? I don't know. Oh, yeah, guys, by the way, we'll be back here again in a few hours. 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central European Summertime for the second part of our for the Western semifinals today. And that's going to be a good one, too, I believe. Let me go ahead and take a look at Twitter just to confirm the actual names that are in there. But I believe it's going to include the God RF and some other top-tier players as well. So we'll be back in a little while. That's going to be it for the YouTube stream. I'm going to go and do the giveaway on Trovo. Here you go. Let me turn this music down a bit. Giveaway coming up on Trovo, guys. There's a link for you in chat if you want to come and get this giveaway. Come join. Otherwise, it's been fun, and I'll see you guys back here in a few hours. Peace.